Tonight, Primetime will return to the modern-day Coliseum as two men look to beckon an opportunity at the PlayStation Championship. A possible number one contender status may be on the line in an impressive victory for one of these men. Entering first, Gemini, a man not to be taken lightly, a man whose combinations and ability to take the fight into aspects of the mixed martial arts game is highly rated. His timing and knowledge in the octagon is at an all-time high, and he doesn't want to let an opportunity pass him by. Tonight, I have an opportunity to face a former champion. If I win, my position in Primetime will be undeniable. Those are the words spoken by a challenger of Gemini. But for him to be mentioned into the Primetime greats, he must defeat one man. Call in NM Smudger. Those two letters sit in front of his main name, meaning one thing: no mercy. The name couldn't be more fitting for a man who once ruled Primetime with an iron fist. Smudger is ready to take a step back into the Primetime octagon once again and wreak havoc over the PlayStation division, and of course he'll show no mercy. Gemini is a great fighter. I respect him, but make no mistake about it. I want my championship back, and I'm going to get it. The former champion is out for blood. But with all that being said, though, strap yourselves in for a wild night of fights, because Primetime is back, and it starts right now. Welcome to Primetime.
What is going on, you beautiful bunch of savages? I am your host, Cyrus the Looney. Join me in the comedy booth for this another epic card here this evening. It's going to be the one and only Doctor Who, Damien Meyer Main, and TMF's very own Ginger. How are you doing, lads?
It is great to be back with the main event, which I introduced just there, of Smudger versus Gemini. Those two are going to be putting on one hell of a fight. Gemini undefeated, Smudger coming off a loss to Leon Styles. He really wanted that rematch, sadly didn't get it, and is now looking to make his mark and showcase why we should have given him that rematch to begin with. You got the co-main event of Slick versus Caliber Ginger, and those two are hell and high water when it comes to the Xbox division here.
Yeah, obviously B-Top Slick made his name for the years in the comp scene, and Caliber, known mainly off his run in the ESFL, having close fights with Fabnator. And then you move on further down to the card, you got stuff like TMF Toasty and B-Free Zach, an amazing showcase there. Toasty, normally known for his grappling, Zach, an amazing striker. And then you move on to different PS fights with Blackout War, an amazing striker as well, versus Fluke.
Yeah, 100%, man. Honestly, these cards, especially after a little break like we had over the last couple of weeks, always come back with one hell of a bang, man. A couple of other names, obviously, to jump off the page. I'm really looking forward to seeing BFAP Styles getting back into the mix, bro. I did not know that he was on this card, but looking at it, BFAP Styles against NM Eagle MMA. Doc, correct me, is that on the PlayStation side, brother?
That is on the PlayStation side. Sadly, Styles was originally intended to fight Naz, but that fight fell through, so instead, Eagle MMA stepped up to the plate. He's part of the NM camp, which is same camp as Smudger, who's in the main event tonight, so maybe there's some untempered talent in that camp we've yet to be seen. You look across the other boards, you got a similar KM in the very top of the main card, fighting a member of the LW camp, KB King. Those two are bound to put on a war. And as you mentioned, across the board, this card is stacked. We've taken a break, we've come back, and this is the Fight Night card. And it's a one hell of a Fight Night card here tonight, Looney.
Yeah, honestly, wouldn't expect anything less, brother. And if they're ready to go, Doc, I think it's about time that we got into this very first fight of the evening. The car was a little bit delayed here this evening, so we'll take a moment just to apologise. Many apologies for it, but the action is here. Primetime guarantee reigns true, and I expect LW Lepo and BFAT Wolbsy to kick off this card with one hell of a bang. I know that we've got a killer set of fights tomorrow as well, kicked off with another banging fight between the one and only Luber and Tad, but same on this one, brother. Top to bottom, non-stop action, and Lepo and Wolbsy, definitely two guys that are after my own heart in terms of the way they compete, Ginge. They really do bring the action, and I wouldn't expect to see anything other than a full array of mixed martial arts skills on display.
Yeah, as you said, these guys bring the action all the time. Lepo, known for his last fight for having an amazing showcase, but came up short. Warbsy, obviously a part of the BFAP camp, known for people like Trixie, Dave, uh, Slick, who's in the co-main event. But the matchup here, Conor McGregor versus Nick Diaz, obviously Lepo known for his Nick Diaz and Warbsy known for his McGregor.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, Lepo absolutely loves Go Nick Diaz, and it kind of falls part and parcel, Doc, with the way that he fights. He has a wide variety of skills available to him. We've seen him getting off submissions against top level opponents. We've seen him being able to ride out some top control. And then, of course, back in the day, I'm sure you'll remember this. TP was the camp of the month, or camp of the couple of months for a little while there. And technical pressure is something that he continues to bring to his repertoire each and every time. Likes to pour it on, but as Jin said, Wobsy coming from the BFAT boys, he's going to have seen it all before.
Yeah, Warbsy knows his stuff and he knows his game plan. You mentioned being part of that beef up game, even if he chooses a striker, he's going to know how to grapple. Typically, Warbsy likes to work the stamina game of his opponent. He likes to work him down in the first round and then starts building up all the pressure. Normally, actually, he's on the back foot a lot of the time. And so, if Lepo wants to continue his pressure like he normally does, he's got to be very wary of that. But with a Nick Diaz pick, he's going to be comfortable, he's going to be composed, and we have a touch of gloves to start out tonight's action here.
We'll see if they actually touch gloves. I think they will. There you go. But yeah, obviously with this as a whole there, Ginge, kind of going forward now, Wobsy's going to be very, very careful not to get overwhelmed by the pressure. And going to the body often and early is going to play massively into his favour, but Lepo knows all about it. He's going to try and answer back, if not with multiple on that shot.
Yeah, well, as you said, Lepo knows what he's doing with a technical pressure before Lina. And we're seeing him start off with a leg kick strategy here. Missed there, but that's what you kind of want to do against the McGregor. You want to kick down his legs, roast down his body, take out the power of the punch he has. And for Lepo, he's doing a good job so far, Doug.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. He's working the leg of McGregor, reducing that power. Also had a bit of engagement with the body work. He knows that whoever starts winning the stand battle here to begin with is going to be the most effective. Jab straight into that leg kick again. He seems to really be wanting to work it, and that's probably a very good game plan if you're Lepo here tonight, especially against someone with the power of McGregor.
Yeah, I mean, obviously his early rounds are going to be his most dangerous, trying to just pepper up different parts of his body and take away, some of the real punch power that he has, because Conor McGregor does gas and does gas pretty easily if it's put on him correctly. But this damage right now is starting to stack up. I mean, Lepo's finding all of the angles to land his boxing combinations here, Ginge.
Yeah, he's finding all the angles. He's being very precise and very integral about it. But the stamina is pretty even as well, even though Warbsy has done the body damage, which means Lepo's doing a good job. He's landing at a high percentage as well. So, really nice block breaking combo there. And really nice leg kicks. That leg is absolutely gone, dog.
Yeah, it is starting to really go. Maybe McGregor needs to switch back, switching stances. But so far is Kent to keep that leg up front. Couple of the body spinning kicks to the body also coming out. It does seem like Diaz is getting the better off in the boxing combo in terms of overall stamina. Look, McGregor's winning. However, this can go either way with one clean shot from either one of his opponents tonight.
Yeah, and he's just forced the switch of stance out of Wobsy. And he's starting to check those leg kicks as well. Wobsy's a really, really, kind of top level player, so he's going to be well aware of how to fight from both stances. But it does take away some of that power from Conor, which is maybe why we're seeing him switch back. Switch back? No, he's not.
No.
What am I talking about? I don't know, I got confused by the switch to stances. Yeah, no, now he's switched.
Jesus! Diaz getting a knockdown there. Fantastic job putting on the pressure again. Head movement only just keeping an eye and knee back in retaliation. Diaz understands the boxing combos and it's working fantastically here. McGregor's having a bit of difficulty, especially as we mentioned a lot. That leg kick has really done so much damage to the favour of Diaz here tonight.
Yeah, honestly, I was looking at his legs for a little bit too long. Should have been looking at those hands, Ginger, because he started letting them fly. That's a big moment for Lepo at the end of that first round, and going to give him a lot of confidence going forward, even though the stamina is probably going to be about equal, even though Nick's recovery is a little bit better. He's just in a really, really strong position to continue to stay in that driving seat. He just can't really make any mistakes, no slipping on any banana peels out there.
Yeah, but what we're seeing is the main mistake here from Warbs is because that leg is so badly damaged, he can't really move that fast. He can't really get out of the way of Lepo's shots. And that is a really good game plan from Lepo, because that's what you need to do against McGregor. Get the health effects before he gets you. Because if McGregor starts getting health effects before you, it is really dangerous. Really nice slip there, Doc.
Yeah, digs down to that body again. The lead body hooked is been like his main shot. That was a lovely bit of head movement, ducking the jab. Maybe Diaz needs to think of other shots on the jab. Warbs starting to get a bit of a read on it. A spinning death kick to the head does get blocked, luckily, and now we're engaging in that close combat boxing that has won Diaz this round, this entire match so far here tonight, Lenny.
He has, right? And I said that obviously he's just going to be happy being so far ahead in this fight right now, but I was not expecting Warbsy to start out this round with almost full stamina. The work that he's been doing to the body and maybe just being a little bit more reserved in that opening round, trying to let Diaz gas himself, could actually end up playing in his favour. He's just going to stop eating some of these clean combinations and much more of that there, Ginge. A couple of slip off the centre lines, throws the straight right down the barrel and continues to work that body pretty beautifully.
Yeah, we're also seeing pretty good takedown defense here from Warbsy. He's defended a good few takedowns from Lepo, and we all know Lepo is not a slouch on the ground here. He's got multiple Kimuras, he's got multiple submission wins over top talent. So for Warbsy to keep this on the feet is a very, very good option for him as a striker, Doc.
I mean, you're saying that keeping on the feet, maybe Warbsy's the guy who needs to be shooting the takedown. So far, the overall striking has seemed to be in favour of Diaz. He's slowly gassing himself out, but this is a 3-round fight, and that gas tank's going to hold. The right leg of McGregor's slowly decreasing. The body health of Diaz, is looking kind of around. So maybe see a couple more body shots looking instead of maybe a headhunting approach to go full onto the body.
Doc, as you were calling that, bro, I have to say, Warbsy has been pouring it on. He's been doing really, really well. I do agree. He has taken quite a bit of damage, but that's exactly why we're seeing a much more grappling-heavy approach now out of Lepo. A bunch of clinches. First few didn't work, but after driving against that cage, getting a little takedown, he's now in the pretty good position with 1 minute 20 to work. Somebody like Warbsy, though, Ginge, he's going to spend a lot of time under the best of the best, like on the mat, like Slick, like BFAP Styles and the such. So he's probably going to be pretty prepared for this situation. But Lepo's really got to be the guy to kind of keep it there. He didn't.
Well, obviously, Warbsy's been put in this situation plenty of times before with people like Jake Ellis, like as you mentioned in his camp. Oh no!
The stun nearly gets him there, gassing out by the jab, the straight, just hoping the death kick does get blocked, and McGregor digging down to that body blinking. All of a sudden, 18 seconds left on the clock, and both of these opponents are engaging in the pocket. If I'm Warbsy, I let this round end, and I start right back up into that third and final round and look for a KO shot here tonight, Lenny.
The only way he's getting it, bro. Let's be honest. He is not tapping out Lepo with Nick Diaz. I just don't see it happening. I've been wrong before, Ginge. I may be wrong again, but I don't think this one is one of them. He needs to pour it on in some of the same ways that he has been already in that second round. But he just needs to risk the fact that he may go face down on that canvas. And that's exactly what Lepo's going to rely on. His stamina's not going to be there. He cannot just be the front runner in this round. Conor has to take it from him.
Well, obviously we know Conor in the last round with very good stamina is dangerous, but that leg is just the punch power isn't going to be all there, and that's what's going to be make or break in this fight. We need to see what Warbsy does here to get that knockout, Doc.
Well, so far, full stam of McGregor. If I'm McGregor, I'm using that jab effectively, digging up top, working down to that body. Like he's doing so already, Atip as well is really working it. The body health is the lowest. Lovely side kick, trying to keep him away here by Diaz. Diaz is wanting to keep that distance. Stay away from the overall power of McGregor. His leg may be dead, but he still can hit like a truck here tonight, Looney.
Yeah. And there he does, brother. Lands that right knee top. Works the body.
If that fantastic job. That's a KO and a half and a comeback through and through, and that's the first fight of this evening. Lepo had fantastic ability. He controlled the first round, he controlled the second round, but that gas tank, that body work of Warbsy stayed there, and it just crumbled in the third and final round. It's it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and that's the way Wolvesy played it here tonight.
Honestly, he started taking over, like I said, in the second round. He did get clipped at the end of it, Chinch, right? But there was signs that he had all the answers required to make this third round go his way. He knew he needed to be active, poured on the pressure, like Doc said, a bunch of jabs out there, threw a couple of teeps. As soon as he got him down a little bit in terms of that block, absolutely unloaded. But surprisingly enough, that was 19-19 going into the third.
Interesting.
How is that possible?
It's the judges of UFC 4.
Wolvesy showed a great display of composure there. We never see them overcome. We never see them panic. It was just nice striking the whole way through. Even if he didn't give away the second round apparently, but realistically, you know what I mean. But great display of composure from Wolvesy there.
100%. A performance that, great feather in his cap. Performance he should definitely be proud of, and I'm sure the BFAT boys are going wild in the back. They got a number of fights left on this evening, or at least one fight left. I know of this evening, of course, with PFAP, Slip, and KM Caliber, and of course, no Styles. I was right.
Yeah, we got Styles. You got just Styles on the BS side.
I'm not used to seeing PFAP boys a little bit further down in that card, especially Styles, man. I mean, but he's been out for a little while, so I'm interested to see what he can do. But no, great performance by Wolvesy. Like I said, those guys can be going hard, and I'm sure Lepo's just going to pick himself up, dust himself off, and be back better than ever. Does take us beautifully, however, Doc, on to the next fight of the evening. Correct me if I'm wrong, brother. This is Raw Spooky up against K4C Bo Lee in the featherweight division.
Indeed. Spooky was originally part of the A55 camp, joined up with the Raw camp. The K4C, I've seen him out the place. I can't say I know Bo Lee off the top of my head, but with a name like Spooky in the other corner, you got to imagine that Bo Lee's got some potential to be showcased here tonight. These two are probably going to put on a hand fight, looking like it's going to be a Josh Emmett pick and another pick of sorts. Hopefully not Volkanovski, since we are in the prelims, and it is 4 stars.
Yeah, I'm sure the Wranglers will let the guy know in the back there. But Josh Emmett, obviously, we saw him have a fantastic performance recently there, Ginger. Very, very good fight all round. But just the way that guy brings his kind of wrestling pedigree to the table, and obviously the power in those hands makes him a threat for really anybody down here at 145. My God, this guy's gone Cub Swanson.
Only took you a couple of seconds to realise Cub Swanson versus Josh Emmett. Little Bo Lee's looking to put on a performance, impressing one of the owners of Primetime here, Looney's favourite fighter being Cub Swanson.
If he does it, like Spooky has phenomenal grappling to go with it. We've seen that from him in the past, and that's probably why he's gone Josh Emmett. He's going to have some good hands, Ginger. He's going to have that wrestling pedigree. But as you well know, my man, Cub Swanson's got that rub guard, and that can make anybody engaging on the ground a little bit more hesitant.
Yeah, but it's not just about the fighter, it's about the player too, Louis. Obviously, we know Spooky competed in Primetime in the season before, and he is an amazing grappler. He also has hands, which is a very fitting pick for Josh Emmett. On the other hand, Kill for Comfort, led by a Pettis, man. Not surprised to see a Cub Swanson pick here. I know
he did a really good job there as well, right? Just to jump in and stopping that takedown. He is eating too many shots here, Doctor. We sparred with Cub Swanson across from yourself many a times, and as you know, he is a front runner. He is much better as a hammer than he is as a nail. So he needs to be careful not to take too much of the damage. But he's doing a good job throwing those teeps up there and starting to work that low kick.
Yeah, but the issue of being a front runner is Emmett's got power in those hands and he's got speed, both of them in the high 90s in terms of stats, which means if you get clipped with them, you're definitely going to feel it. I didn't realise he did have a ducking roundhouse, but the more you learn when you use someone like Emmett, both of these guys staying fairly well on the feet. Surprised I haven't seen another takedown out of Josh Emmett here, but so far Swanson's keeping that range to a point. He's just making sure to keep all his P's and Q's intact, but I imagine that as both of these get more confident, you're going to see a bit more aggression and a bit more bluster out of both of them here.
Yeah, definitely. We see Spooky and Bully having a decently even fight, whereas you can see Spooky kind of getting the edge and the head damage. So it's really just a matter of who gets the most damage first here. But it's probably going to be Emma, because that man hits like an absolute spinning train.
Yep.
Absolutely loving what I'm seeing here, Doc. Lots and lots of movement, right? Very, very active. We don't see the stamina. A good front kick connects for Cub Swanson, possibly his biggest moment of this. But I'm just really, really liking the all-round work of what I'm seeing from both guys. I mean, obviously some big power shots landing from Emmett, but that leg kick, that low kick from Cub Swanson, absolutely beautiful at the moment. And I think that's going to play dividends as the rounds continue.
Yeah, it really is, and a slow and steady pace is going to win the pace. We saw a slow and steady pace will win the race in this case, and that's how Spooky's playing the game. He's playing slow, he's playing steady, he's not forcing takedowns, which means his stamina isn't getting entirely done from wasted takedown shots. And here with 30 seconds left, he's playing it very slow, very methodical, slowly working down his opponent with the power of Emmett here, Looney.
Yeah, you're doing a great job, bro. There's some big, heavy shots right now from Leon Bailey. Partially blocked, able to regain the half guard. There's only 8 seconds left, but this is some really, really great work from a solid opponent, James, especially after a first round. That's where you want to end it, right? In a close one, get that takedown that you've been trying to work for. Work it as much as you can, get some ground and pound off. And Spooky, he's no kind of slouch on the ground, man. He works hard, he does get active, doesn't like that lay and pray approach, and you've got to love to see it.
Yeah, we always love a grappler who works for his takedown, something to shoot for his life, and that is Spooky. That was a really nice head kick, landed flush. But we've seen Spooky before. He really likes grappling. He likes that method, but he also has hands, and he's really displaying it for his slips here, Doc.
Yeah, he's using the slips effectively, but the leg kick's also coming out. A slip hook there does get clipped with a lead hook in retaliation. Jab, straight, uppercut also follow suit. These two now starting to open up a bit more with the combos, but again, the defense is fairly high, so they're fairly well mannered in the approach, but they are looking to get that head or center line and clip them with a hook here, Looney.
Honestly, man, I'm really, really impressed, especially with the unknown Cub Swanson picture. He's doing a fantastic job. Just very, very intelligent play from both guys. They're really, really, kind of working this like a chess battle. Technical shots, lots of defense being used correctly. Now he's got him in this clinch position, works a couple of shots. I was surprised he didn't go for the takedown, but possibly just trying to set him up for that a little bit late there, Ginge, because he knows that Cub is going to be all over that, especially after the end of the first round.
Just wondering what the stamina's looking like here, because seeing both men go to the body quite a lot, so they have to be relatively low, maybe like 3/4 damaged. But that's going to play pretty big in this factor going into the third round, seeing he has the stamina advantage. It seems to be Cub at this moment at time, but it could change, Doc.
Well, Emmett does have pretty bad recovery and cardio overall, both in the high 80s at best, if I remember correctly. And so, the pace Emmett's fighting at and the bit of the body work Cub is doing, you got to imagine that stamina is going to be low. But as I say that, Emmett is now putting on the pressure, showcasing that maybe the stamina isn't all he needs, but a spear takedown comes out of nowhere and does a beautiful job putting Spooky on his back this time around.
Yeah, absolutely perfect. Putting the wrestler on his back. If he's able to secure this position out for the next 1 minute 30 or so, he could be really, really on his way to turning the tides in this fight. First round definitely went against him, Ginge. Nice start, or nice overall performance from both guys in the second round, but heavily seems to be going in the way of Bowley, and he's doing himself and his camp very, very proud at the moment.
Yeah, there has been no... oh, no. Alright, well, there has been no health events in this round so far, but you could kind of tell who's getting ahead on the striking, and he's, at this point in the time in the round, he is out grappling Spooky, so it really would be his round if nothing too extreme happens in the next 40 seconds here, Bill.
Yep, got 30 seconds left on the clock, so what he needs to do is maintain a good full guard and doesn't have to even work. He could look for a posture up, but it isn't unnecessary if you want to go into the next round, which is probably the idea. Spooky instead forcing him to with an armbar attempt to close out the second round here.
Yeah, again, not enough time, but honestly, these two guys, especially, like I said, these cards have been absolutely stacked, but it's nice to see the diversity of skill sets that are on display, especially this early on in the card. These guys really, really putting the full mixed martial arts array on display for us here. I think that there was a partial bow from the side of Spooky, but not returned, and now he's pouring forward and using the retreat well, landing those shots. Excellent lunging hook from Spooky, but those low kicks, jabs, all around boxing seems to be really, really paying off about here at the moment.
Well, assuming that the second round, because the knockdown went, Emmett did get a knockdown in the second round, so assuming that round and the judges scored it correctly, and the first round, if I remember correctly, was Emmett's. Cub is down 2 rounds and probably going to have to look to put on the pace himself here. He did have success in the grappling, so maybe he wants to take it back down there, but with the way both of these opponents have been fighting for the last 10 minutes, I'd assume the striking is where it wants him. With a stun on Emmett, we could be seeing an underdog coming back up and making a comeback here already.
Lovely pull back through the body. Got him rocked as well. He's doing a great job. Catches the lead upper Ginge and is trying to pour it on for the finish. He could have it if the defense doesn't hold true.
Does.
Like a light. Like a light.
You know, as much as it pains me to see Cub Swanson go out on that canvas, Josh Emmett from the side of Spooky doing a fantastic job here this evening, Ginge. Got to be pretty impressed with his ability to stay true after, what turned out to be a shaky second round. Kick off this third one with a bang and get the job done.
Yeah, that was an amazing display there. Oh, another good display of composure there. Yeah, amazingly. Showed us grappling, showed us nice striking. Even though he was slipping a little bit, he did definitely show he has high level striking as well. So an all-round good display there from Spooky.
Yeah, and Doc, just to throw it back to you there, brother, before we move on to the next one, which should be fireworks all over. But just a shout out to K4C and Bo Lee. I mean, that guy came out.
That was a genuinely impressive performance. Yeah. I've heard about the camp. I didn't realize they're that high level, and that was genuinely impressive. That camp seems to be a camp to look out for, and a performance like that against someone so highly rated like Spooky. That's definitely made your mark on the PlayStation division already.
Yeah, definitely a guy to keep our eyes out on for sure. But Spooky gets a W in the win column and a finish, so he gets those extra points. Of course, if you don't know, with our ranking system all automated, so these guys get additional points for finishes. We are actively incentivizing these guys to go out there, get the job done, and get it done in an emphatic fashion to rise up those rankings very, very quickly and try to secure themselves a title shot against one of our respective weight class, consoles. I was going to say weight classes, but consoles, they're kind of like weight classes. But as we said all of that, Doc, take us into the next one, my man. We've got TM Homer, a man that's been around the scene for a very, very long time, has fought the who's who, likes to throw those hands, but he is up against the one and only Satchmo Life, trying to get the job done in a big way once again here this evening.
We're in the flyweight division this time. This is an Xbox Fight TMF, part of the Hummer, part of the TMF camp, like Ginger is, so he can offer some insight on that. But a quick rundown on Satchmo is he's a striker overall, can do the grappling. Favorite fighter is Tony Ferguson, so it kind of points out his nutcase's way. He always is looking for a tougher opponent each and every time he comes out to fight, and this time round he's got the might of TMF Hummer here, Ginger.
Yeah, Homer, I've played him a few times. He's not very pressure. He likes to stick and pose. He likes to pick his shots. Very, very decisive in the way he chooses his strikes. On the other hand, we've got a Satchmo, very nice kickboxer, knows how to kick and when to use it. It's a very closely well-made matchup here, Liddy.
Yeah, honestly, I haven't seen Satchmo in a little while actively competing. Know that the skills that the guy brings to the table, he really does do a good job mixing it all together in the performances I recall from over there, Doc. But like I said, Hummer, definitely a guy that wants to get those hands going, right? More so often than not. He doesn't really actively look for the ground game at all. And John Dodson, being such an explosive fighter, being so good in those active scrambles, I think is a really, really suitable pick for him going into this match.
Yeah, Dodson is probably one of the best picks. He's got the hands for days. He'll punch you in the face and he'll make sure you realise it. Panjoja, on the other hand, is an all-round fighter, and so Satchmo shooting for a takedown instantly, that's probably the best idea you can. As we mentioned, Hummer's got the hands. Satchmo can offer the grappling ability here tonight, Ginge.
Well, yeah, Hummer not basically known for his grappling, but gets to get up. I want to see Satchmo mixing the takedowns. I want to see him grapple a bit, because obviously Hummer has quite nice striking. So stay where you're most comfortable in this type of situation, Lenny.
Yeah, honestly, if Hummer can keep it on the feet, it's normally going to be a bit better for him. But right now, I'll be honest with you, Satchmo Life Looking like he's
Ooh.
kind of cut from a little bit of a different elk right now. He's looking good. Get eat back with a couple of shots, and that's a little bit better for him. Hammer. Do not want to be seeing the TMF boy drop it right here, right now, but Satchmo was looking good there. He looked very calculated in his shot selection, and I think that might have woken up Dodson. It might have woken up TMF Hammer, because he's going kind of hell for leather right now, Doc.
Well, Satchmo's got to be wary of sticking his back against that cage. If you want to, it's the one place you don't want to be when you're fighting an aggressive striker. You want to have the ability to use the footwork. Does get denied there on the takedown. Fantastic job there by Hammer. Shoot takedown on his own, doesn't get it, and now these two are back into that center octagon. If I'm Satchmo, I'm using that jab a bit more. I'm forcing Hammer to respect it, and then I'm going to start opening up my own combos here, because it looks like Dodson's really not respecting any kind of distance Satchmo wants, and that thus is giving him his ability to do all the damage here, Ginge.
Yeah, obviously Dodson, one of the smallest fighters in the division. So you really need to cut on your distance. You need to go for your body, go for your legs, like Connor's doing, and make sure your opponent cannot use their range at all, where you're at your perfect range. Woo! So, lovely knee. Also, that went to kickboxing as Homer is displaying here, Looney.
Yeah, honestly, that flying knee was beautiful. It was explosive, exactly what we would expect to see out of not only a TMF Hammer performance, but a John Dodson as a pick. You see him feint that rear overhand into an uppercut. He's getting a little bit wild, but that could either play in his favor or to his deficit, because, Pantoja, he's got some really, really solid striking, right? He hits pretty hard as well for this weight class. And honestly, I'm really liking the shot selection of when Satchmo is going forward. I feel like he's choosing all the right shots to get maximum amounts of pressure and damage off onto his opponents here.
Yeah,
This fight is really even.
This fight is really even, but they're both doing it in different ways. Hummer's more going for the pressure style, Satchmo's doing the retaliation, and that is kind of the style there, and the aggression of Hammer getting the knock, stun, and now both of these guys are going at it, nearly ducks into front gun. That uppercut leads hook at the very end. Both of these guys are putting on one hell of a war. And want to put
the shots, brother. I mean, look, there's basically 100 shots thrown, right, in the first round of both of these guys. It is one of the lighter weight classes, so you do expect to see some higher numbers, but they were really, really bringing the action. I think the Hammer came out the gates a little bit hot, got caught once or twice, Ginger, and you know Hammer quite well. I mean, sometimes it takes this guy 1 or 2 shots to be landed on him before he really wakes up, and he's doing exactly what you called for, shooting for that single leg, and kind of mixing it up on his opponent, showing that he can grapple as well.
Yeah, you don't really see a grappling approach out of Homer, You would only see the kickboxing, range kickboxing, flashy kickboxing. But we're seeing a grappling approach, which I wouldn't be doing against someone like Satchmo, Doc.
Yeah.
No.
The Kimura attempt, though. Hammer has no stamina. Does go ditch it early on, but maybe he's got another idea instead. Goes to back sit in, plain and simple transition. Ended up getting denied there with 3 minutes 50 left on the clock. Hammer on top. He's got a long time to work and can stay fairly patient here, Looney, if he wants.
Yeah, look, there's a lot of time for something to go right. Just like that, he slices across into top mount like a knife through butter. Not able to actually hold the position, though. Satchmo Life did a very good job of probably pre-denying that transition to stop his posture up, and easily seems to regain the full guard. And I think it's what you said there, Ginger, that it's a lot of time to go right, but a lot of time to go wrong, right? I mean, you know how good Satchmo is on the mat. He was doing well on the feet. Maybe that was the wrong choice at the wrong time.
Yeah, probably was. He got a good minute of control, but after that, it didn't really go well. He's starting to lose head, have advantage, and it's only going to get worse from there. But he could get a reversal, but doesn't get anything off of it.
Yeah.
What would you do in Hummer's position here?
Doc, you're the resident grappler, brother. You have definitely taken me down a few times, so I'm sure you
taking everybody down. If I'm Satch currently, I'm going to look for that top man. I'm going to look for side control. However, getting reversed is definitely not on my game style. If I'm Hummer, I'm doing the same. You want to get out the full guard. Full guard is the easiest place your opponent can get up from. It gives them all the options, give them all the GA. I mean, this wasn't the intended plan, but if it works, it works. It's going ballistic on that ground and pound. Does a very effective job. Now you're going to be looking for the half guard transition. Fakes it a couple of times. Instead, though, lovely reversal. These two having a back and forth fight, and this is one hell of a grappling exchange here, Ginge.
Yeah, you wouldn't really expect this grappling display out of Homer. You wouldn't really expect him to have a fun competitive grappling display with, oh, that was sloppy, he could go on the top of my land. It looks like he is a very, very dangerous position, but gets right out of it, Looney.
It's like you say, this is the thing on the ground, right? There's not a lot of time now. There's no real submissions available, but ground and pound is definitely there. You've got to imagine that Sachimo's going to try and work it from this side control position. But like I said, Dodson, so good in a scramble, bro, that he just doesn't stay, doesn't let his hips kind of, rest on the mat, doesn't allow himself to get squared out, and that's why he's often able to regain some of these top control positions and work his way back to the feet should he want to. That, however, is around the Sachimo life quite clearly, Doc. And I think that might be a lesson learned for Hummer. He had the first round up. Can he regain that former kind of control, or does that takedown now play too much, into the mentality of what Pantoja is bringing to the table?
Well, if I'm Hummer and I want to stop a takedown, I'm going to come forward and I'm going to knock your head off. Instead, though, the elbow doing the most of the damage there, and now Pantoja looking for the ground and pound defense. Lovely defense, but Pantoja is now on top of you. You're going for a reversal. Does get it from backside now. This can do some serious damage if you done correctly, but decides to disengage and take it back onto the feet here, Looney.
Yeah, once again, I do
Stand up.
Oh no! Oh no!
Night.
How is...
Oh, and Sachimo's the one that gets stunned. Okay, game, that's fine. That's EA playing with the EA gods. It seems like 3 minutes what we left on the clock. These two looking like they don't want to have the game mechanics work in their favour. Hummer and the damage with Dodson. That power is keeping him in this fight.
He was using some sort of Wing Chun or something. He took the energy of his opponent, was able to redirect it, and now he's rocking him once again, Ginger. What is in the water bottle of TMF Hummer? You guys looking a bit cracked out as he gets another knockdown. How is he doing this? Only God knows.
They poured the protein powder in his water bottle mid-fight, and it seemed like Hummer's come out here refreshed and happy that he's no longer scared of the takedown. But Sachimo now gets the reversal. He's got 2 minutes 30. He's been knocked down at least twice. He's definitely down this round. He needs to figure out a way to do it. Hummer getting denied there as well, doing a fantastic job so far. Sachimo's got to dig deep and showcase why he is the better fighter here tonight.
Yeah, see, Hummer going for them sloppy, naked backside transitions isn't going to get him anywhere. That really shows you the difference in the grappling. The Kimura could be dangerous now. Looks like, oh no, it doesn't look like he's going to get out of it.
Well, the red bar is creeping up. He's looking like it's definitely going to have it. It's going to be close to somewhat, but the red bar's creeping up so fast there.
Yeah, the escape is aiming. A good job from TMF Hummer. If he is able to hold on to the next 1 minute 20, not get tapped out, take up some top control, then he could be onto a winner. But the submission attempts continue to chain together, Ginger, trying to get your teammate out of there. With a minute left on the clock, there's plenty of time if he doesn't get the slam.
It doesn't get the slam. This could be a very risky move. Pantoja does have the stamina deficit, which is the one thing going in favour of Hummer. However, it's looking like the red bar's going to get there before the blue, and Hummer's going to be out again. A couple more strikes thrown, but does get out of it. This is 20 seconds left on the clock, and it looks like those last fleeting sub attempts may have lost Satch around, but as we saw in the...
I don't know who to give that to.
I don't know.
You got to rock, bro. You got.
That round was definitely Hummer.
Hummer got that round. I'm pretty sure the last round was Hummer's. Or was I wrong? Was it Satch?
Hummer, right?
It's in the game.
They score on damage, brother, and that man got all the damage in those rounds. So if it was any other way, I would have been confused. 29-28 across the board. Sachimo life having some really, really good moments in that fight, but it was ultimately the chaotic onslaught of TMF Hummer that was able to get the job done here this evening. Great win for him, great feather in the cap, and it beautifully takes us on to the next fight of the prelims here this evening, Doctor. It is going to be the one and only MBK Dre, the gentleman, up against OG Lewis. What can you tell us about these two men?
Well, we no longer have OG Lewis. He got stuck up that dreaded tree. And so instead, we have Sean Corkery filling in, also known as Spartan. Used to be known as Spartan War, now only known as Spartan since the war camp disbanded. So we now have Spartan filling in.
Wait, what? They did?
Yeah, the war camp did disband. Apparently that's news to Ginger. But hey, so instead of OG Lewis, we now have Sean Corkery filling in, also known as Spartan, versus NBK Dre the Gentleman. These two are going to be in the bantamweight division, 4 stars like usual. These two are going to be on the fight, but looks like we're going to have Jimmy Rivera versus Marlon Moraes here tonight. I believe I just said the wrong Marlon, but we continue.
No, you did. No, you did.
Okay, well, the name is in front of you. The name is in front of you.
Yeah, sorry. I was thinking of the Spider-Man. That's the wrong guy. That's a different name.
God damn. Okay, well, I don't know, James. We digress, brother. I would not expect Spartan. Look, this guy is an absolute savage on the game. I believe I just saw, like I said, the Marlon Moraes pick. He is going to come out there with that beautiful striking we have seen from him in the past and try to put it on his opponent. Of course, Jamie has the ability to throw massive power shots, as we discussed earlier on with Emmett. But he also has the ability to shoot those double legs should he want to, and that could be a remedy to an easy path for him in this first round. I mean, the striking of Marlon is something to be very, very cautious around, Jim.
Yeah, Marlon scars me ever since my PT title fight with Adjust. So obviously he can work your body down really, really fast with that body kicks that Sean Conley's already doing. Oh, lovely head kick there, dog.
Yeah, he's using a lovely job. He's using very basic boxing followed by simplistic kicks, throwing one at a time. You can just see the very short combinations, very well timed, digs down to that body as well. The way I would describe Marlon is a poor man's Aldo, and with someone against Jimmy Rivera, that is kind of a viable strategy here. If you can kick the legs, work the body, and make sure you're half decent on the ground and takedown defense there, you're going to have a lot of success. The camera angle seems to have done one to its original place here, but Rivera trying to engage in the leg kicking battle as well, but Marlon just digging down and being content, composed, and happy engaging whenever he feels like here, Luna.
Honestly, you said the poor man's Jose Aldo. He said, hold my beer, get that reversal straight away. Absolutely beautiful takedown defense. And honestly, landing some good shots with the boxing. Spinning back fist, but I mean, the gentleman just keeping it a little bit kind of too fundamental. And I actually feel like that may pay in his favor. But as I'm saying it, the hands are landing. Ginger, at a moment's notice. He did not seeming to wait any time to make sure that he gets all this damage to bleed through.
Yeah, Sean Conley 6-4 this season. One of a highly ranked PS fighter, showing why against Dre the Gentleman. Dre the Gentleman 1-0, undefeated here in Primetime, trying to prove himself, and looking like it's going in the favor of Sean here, dog.
Yeah, he's working across the board. He's working the head, the body, and the legs, and that's kind of just peppering, that sporadic peppering shot or type of shots. It just make life very difficult to really figure out where your defense needs to be, and that's the main reason why Marlon's having such success here tonight, Looney.
Loving what I'm seeing, to be honest with you, from both guys for the most part, but obviously particularly Spartan doing a great job of just utilizing the all-round striking skills of Moraes. But there's another takedown, not able to get it. I mean, takedown defense 10-10 right now. James 100% lands a couple of good shots to the body to punish his opponent. Going to be feeling fairly confident, but doesn't want to get too overzealous, because some of those big power shots from Riviera can turn those lights out very quickly.
Yeah, but it's the little things that's separating Sean from the Gentleman here, because you're seeing him use the footwork a lot better, in my opinion. He's in and out. He's using his jab pretty well. Oh, we need to watch that. Oh,
that was a scary moment, you know, for a fact. Sean Connery is holding his breath. Sadly, Dre didn't get the counter, but he's back on the front foot. He's putting on the pressure at the very end of this round. He's engaging a bit, and he can engage because Rivera's got that power. He's a wrestler through and through, and most of the wrestlers in this game just can hit hard as all hell. But he hasn't landed that many shots to really make a noticeable dent in Marlon's kind of sketchy chin here, Looney.
Yeah, for certain, man. Obviously, especially as he gets a little bit more gassy, right? Yeah, that those shots are going to land with a little bit more impact, and there is a slight advantage in the side for the side of Jimmy, but you've got to weather that storm, and unfortunately, sometimes the storm is a little bit too much to weather. I say that as he lands a nice little flurry on Marlon and gets him to back up instantly, and actually, he's starting to make some bad decisions there. He started throwing kicks inside of boxing range, may have his opponent a little bit flustered, which is uncharacteristic of Spartan.
Well, the slip hook lands there. Slowly dodges out of the uppercut, the head movement keeping him on his feet. But that's only a minute into this round, and both of these opponents showing that they're already making the adjustments from the first round. Rivera really starting to land the uppercut a few times. Marlon probably needs to back off, go back to that kick-in range to start peppering his opponent, to start controlling it, to really just pick apart his opponent at a slow and steady pace here, Ginge.
Yeah, we're starting to see it's a little advantage. Really nice takedown defense there from Sean, but it's the little things that will turn the tides there. It's the small adjustments, as I said before, that's separating Sean. He's got the body work, he's got the leg damage. He's working everything, whereas you're seeing Trey the Gentleman only work the body every 5 combos or stuff like that. And you're not seeing him work the legs at all. So that's the things that's separating Sean and the Gentleman here, Lily.
Yeah, potentially so, right? But I have to say, I am liking what I'm seeing from Jimmy in the second round. I think for the most part, he's been doing great. Other than that, pull elbow from Spartan, who is now pouring it on, gets the knockdown following the rock, and doesn't seem to be letting up the pressure anytime soon. Calm and composed, letting his opponent throw at air, then returning, Doc. This is a bit more like the calm, composed Spartan that we've seen in the past, and he's doing great right now.
Yeah, he's doing fantastic, blocking the slip hook as well, which he earlier had issues with, and knee to the body follows suit. He's just staying composed, he's circling around that black line, he's not being pushed entirely to the cage. As I say that, he does do it, but then again, he circles back out into that center of the octagon, and that's what you want to be doing if you're going to be playing that back game. You don't want your back against the cage, but you don't want to be holding that center of the octagon. You want them to kind of be running after you, and that's what's happening in the case of Jimmy Rivera here.
Pressuring still, change, going for the spin to the head. Lands beautifully through the block potentially as well, and now got Jimmy in all sorts of trouble. Trying to find the finishing shot, but definitely not rushing it. And as a result, that head kick connects beautifully.
Oh, a finishing shot is what Marlon's looking for now, looking for the ground and pound. That head health is so low. One shot could have finished it. Got 15 seconds, could get the finishing touches, but by the looks of it, Marlon's just going to wait it out in this bull guard. But as I say, it goes again, working that block, the head, everything just trying to get a finish in the end of that second round there, Ginge.
Yeah, that was very, very close call there for Jure, and obviously we're going to put that round towards Sean. Pretty good display here, obviously showing the pulls, the rage, the footwork especially here, Lily.
Yeah, look, he didn't take too long to adjust, right? Because he got rocked at the beginning of that round, came back, got 2 of his own, and now he's back in the driving seat. Like I said, I mean, this man is so calm and composed in his normal performances. There was a momentary lapse that Dre was able to capitalize on, but he has not slipped up since then. He has really been dialed in, looking for the finish. And, you know, you love to see it when Spartans are in this sort of shape, Doc. He's a man to really, really be cautious of in that octagon, because he brings a lot of tools to the table.
Yeah, he brings a lot of tools to the table, and he's showcasing all of them. You can see the head, the body health, and the leg health across the board, all been used in periodic ways. And now the boxing's really starting to open up for Marlon Moraes here, and Sean's just having a fantastic and easy time working it, using that jab effectively, working down the block to then sneak the shots past it to then get the stun and the knockdowns here, Ginge.
Yeah. It all comes down just to how he's picking his shots and what range he's doing his shots. Really nice deny there, but it will boost that anyway because of stamina. That's not what you need to do if you're Dre. You're going for the knockout. You're going for your finish, because at the moment he's losing this fight in the scorecards, really.
Yeah, quite probably, right? We've seen weirder things happen in the past, but for me, Sean Coker is doing fantastic, and maybe he just thought, look, I'll try and mix up. Maybe he can get the top mount or whatever it may be. But as we see, Spartan's just so well diverse that he was able to get the reversal relatively easy, Doc. But as I say that, he gets flipped again. Like I said, now he's got that top
denied, which is the crucial transition you want denied here. Goes to the back take, does get it. Leonsi is banned from this position, but he has none, but it's completely viable. Instead, though, we end up being backside, a very dangerous position for ground and pound overall, but with a minute left on the 2 minutes left on the clock, you got to imagine that maybe Rivera's going to be able to get out of this position, or not, depends.
Oh, no.
Well, that's mount is a dangerous position to do. From this position, you got the ground and pound, as you can see here. You've also got the back flat RNC, but it's looking like that ground and pound is all that he needed here tonight, Looney.
Yes, sir. Pounding his opponent through the mat, and that's exactly what he did. Looked like he was all about the damage here this evening, and my God, did it look like it. He is wearing his opponent's blood all over himself. Absolutely fantastic performance from Sean. Like I said, a momentary lapse in that fight, right? A momentary slip, but showing all of his veteran savage ginger to bring it all back together and get that victory.
Yeah, Spartan were nice. Well, Spartan now 7-4 under the lights of prime time. Surely that's going to get him somewhere near the top 15. And after that, he definitely deserves it.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. We'll see what the matchmakers come up with after, obviously, the rankings have all been done, but definitely putting himself in a very, very good spot. He's a top-level opponent. We've seen him around the block. Good to see him back in the cage here this evening. But it beautifully sets us up here, Doc, for the featured fight of the prelims. I believe this one's going ahead as scheduled, so it'll be S&B Blink up against LW Havoc. My man, what can you tell us going into these fights? I mean, I know these fighters, but let the fans know what can they expect going into this one.
S&B Blink, he's part of the S&B camp with a former ESL champion of Hammer in the camp, so he's very experienced in that division. He's also got fantastic striking. The grappling is there. It's definitely there. It's viable to the best ability. He is known for having a bit of issues sometimes, but when you're in a league fight, it doesn't really matter if you've got the hands to really put the pressure on your opponent. LW Havoc, on the other hand, he is a striker through and through, part of the LW camp. If you remember Lepo, they're going to have a similar style, and by the looks of it, we've got in the lightweight division, Blink going Mazadal, Havoc going Holloway.
Ooh, I like this. Havoc, known for his kickboxing. I wouldn't really call him a boxer. I would call him a strict kickboxer. But we see that through the pick of Max Holloway, and they lagged out.
I think it was because they started early, and so they thought that, or maybe it was.
Look, what we're going to do, guys, so that's okay. We'll take a little bit of a look ahead at the card while we wait for those guys to sort themselves out. Go into the main event of the evening. Okay, that's not actually FSK Smudge, from what I've heard. I believe there was a mix-up there on the graphic, right?
Yeah, Smudger was part of the FSK camp, but then joined up with the No Mercy camp instead, which is the more PlayStation camp now. So it'll be interesting to see how Smudger does.
There you go. See, so obviously another minor correction from that graphic, but with a Smudger in the main event of the evening. That man is an absolute savage. Personally, one of my favorites to see compete, and he is coming up against LW Gemini. Obviously, a savage through and through. Once again, being around the scene for a long time has Gemini, and he's been putting an excellent run together. So I cannot wait to see those two guys clash in the main event. But BFAP Slick, KM Caliber, man. KM Caliber, I mentioned it to you, or to everybody before, but Ginge, he's kind of like our Donald Cerrone, right? He turns up all the time. He fights anybody, anytime. Sometimes goes his way, sometimes does not. But this is one of his first scheduled fight for a while.
Donald Cerrone, but if Donald Cerrone was very good at the game.
Yeah, it was true. Caliber's the guy who would take any late replacement fight at any time. But we've got these two fighters back up now. They're sorted out. Apparently it was 5 rounds done in the Apex, which is apparently not. Although they can't seem to listen to when to start. But hey, we're here now, and these two are on the go. We got a double teep coming out on Bleak's part.
You fucking crease me.
Holloway is on the back foot so far.
Yeah, start out quickly, right? These guys, Ginger, did not want to waste any time at all. Didn't want to wait for the green light. They said, we've given our own green light. It's time to throw hands. And as you can see, that's all that's following, brother. Constant combinations, chopping at that leg, trying to maximize the damage as early as they can.
I'm quite surprised to see a switch stance from Havoc. Nice leg check. Maybe Blake should stop going for the leg so much because obviously he's only sacrificing his own leg health at this point. We all know it only takes 4 or 5 checks maybe to give you a leg health effect, so he needs to chill out now. And we're seeing Havoc have the better striking so far. Oh, yes, we are. I was correct. I'm always right.
I'm always right.
Die by the head kick. He was stunned and he just took it on his chin.
Well, it's that chin of Masvidal, brother. That chin of Masvidal. It does. He does have a fantastic chin for the most part, but you know, absolutely beautiful start out for Havoc. Like I said, this guy brings all sorts of actions to the table. I know the S&B camp is an up and coming one, and Blink is one of their fast rising stars. So we will have to see how he can adjust to the early adversity. But what a start out for Holloway there, bro.
That was a real. I mean, you didn't really see much slip uppercuts, so to see someone get a stun off it was pretty rare.
Well, instead of uppercuts, we're seeing the grappling exchanges. Does get the half guard reversal. Ooh. Now on top. If you're Blink, you've got to be careful here. You're really taking a lot of damage, but instead we ended back up on the feet. Masvidal content in engaging with these two, and it seems like he's the one in control on the feet, especially if you're going off that stun here, Looney.
Exactly right. Look, now they're back on their feet. That's obviously going to play so much confidence into Havoc, especially after the early rock. But he has to bear in mind that Blink and Jorge Masvidal has power in those hands. And as you can see, it is landing with maximum effect here, Ginger. He is pouring on the pressure. And this is what Masvidal does best. He brings out a different sort of chaos to this cage.
Yeah, the pressure from Blink there was just unmatched. I'm not going to be surprised if he pushes his opponent behind the black line and then starts going ham. We're seeing Havoc switching a lot of stance though, using his kickboxing. As I said before, he's working down the body. He's going for an all-round approach there, but you don't want to be throwing kicks in that range, dog.
It seems like Havoc found his pace. It seems like he had his pace to begin with because he was happy to engage. He got a stun. And then towards the end of this round, he's kind of lost it. Like, that takedown really screwed with his general ability to strike there, I feel like, and there he just couldn't engage as much, and that's opened the window for Blink here to get the knockdown, to get the more damage off, and that's given him success towards the end of the round. So it's going to be interesting to see it into the second round, how Havoc adjusts to that, to see if his striking opens up a bit more here, Looney.
Yeah, look, he started the last round very, very quickly. Whether or not the damage at the end of that, at the end of that round, is something that plays in his mind as he approaches this one. He does seem a little bit more tentative in the second round, especially with the full stamina. It's not a stamina concern here, Ginge, but he knows now that the power is there, and of course his opponent doesn't mind mixing it up and taking him down, so choosing his shots a little bit more wisely, trying to limit the openings for Blink, I think is a smart move for him, and seems to be playing dividends for him already early in this round.
Oh yeah, obviously the stamina is going to be amazing because Max Cardio, Max, I call him Max Cardio because he has that good cardio. He could probably outrun my whole family combined. But you don't want to be doing that. You don't want to. No.
That is a risky move and a half there. The counter only just getting a stun because they've got a clean cut if he had a bit lower stamp. Seems like both of them are a bit tentative overall. Blink, however, is having a bit more aggression, landed a bit more of the power shots, and that's given him the most success here, Loney.
Yeah, 100%, man. The pressure is, starting to do some good work, and it's really starting to bleed through. Sits him down with it. Blink, in the blink of an eye, getting some big damage off, and he's got a lot of time to work here, so I honestly feel like he needs to abandon that wrestling, though, right, Ginge? He can't keep going to it. It's going to attack his cardio, which is already going to be in a pretty suspect spot when fighting against somebody like Max Holloway.
Yeah, obviously, Masvidal is nowhere near on the level cardio-wise to Max Holloway, so he needs to be careful on what he throws and how he throws it.
But Holloway's having not that much success on the feet either, so maybe it'd be Holloway shooting the takedown instead, holding up the holding it up, and both of these guys engaging in the best ways possible. A leg kick there does get it down, and Holloway's already lost a lot of his power from that leg kick. I didn't realize as bad as it is, and no wonder Blink so far is having a lot to better in terms of engagement here, Ginge.
Yeah, we're seeing Blink is having a lot more, obviously, the legs done. He's also using the footwork a lot nicer. He's using his flips a lot more too, even though he have got one off at the start. Oh, he needs to watch this. His stamina is very low, I'm assuming.
Yeah, but a couple of these clinch attempt there. He has got the stamina of Max Holloway. Low Blink instead going straight for the head. A head kick, though. That's a bit of a wild move, but we don't see that very often. But it's always fun to see. 40 seconds left on the clock here, Ginger. You've got to imagine that one of these is going to want to put out a big message at the very end of this round.
Well, yeah, obviously, I don't know who to give this round to. Maybe in Blink's favour. Blink kind of controlling the pace, but the stamina is very low. Yeah, you gotta assume they want to finish this round in the third. You don't want to give the judge the chance to pick in a 50-50 fight. So you really need to look for a knockout here, Looney.
Yeah, exactly right. And honestly, I feel like that's always the case with both opponents, right? You're always going to look for that finish because ultimately, you don't want to leave it in the eyes of the judges, man. We've seen it way too many times in real life on the game. These guys, they tend to lean the wrong direction. So take them out of it. Look for that finish and, of course, get those extra points to accelerate your journey up those rankings. The work I'm seeing from Blink so far from the S&B corner has been absolutely fantastic, and he's doing a great job, but always present is the danger that somebody like Max Holloway presents, especially in the hands of
never mind. Ground and pound getting looking to get the finish. The block is fairly low in the straight. Gets the finish.
What was that?
I don't know what the hell that was, but that was definitely something.
that was Ginger through and through.
That was definitely Ginger.
You know what, though? That was the type of fight that we would come to expect from a featured fight of the prelims. These guys brought the action from the opening bell to almost the final one until finally S&B Blink was able to put the little dink on his opponent's face, sit him down for the final time here this evening, and it propels us beautifully, Doc, into the main card. So, I mean, especially with BFAP Styles, right, and KM, Eagle MMA, well, you guys are both very, very familiar with us. How about you lead us into this fight? What can you tell us about these components for anybody that's new to the scene, maybe not seen BFAP Styles or NM, Eagle MMA in the past?
I mean, BFAP Styles, 2 words: emotional abuse in the cage is what he is. That has always been my description of Styles. The first time I ever met Styles, it was a debut fight. I went into it not realizing who he's won, and I somehow decided that grappling was the best option. To say that within about a round I was completely confused with how someone can get those denials would be an understatement. He is a nutcase on the ground. He is impressive all round, and he's looking to make, and he was our first PS champion, and so now he's taking a break. I think he's got his teaching degree, if anything, and now he's looking to make a return, and in that case he's fighting someone from the No Mercy camp. Now, I'm not particularly sure on Eagle MMA, but he's in the same camp as Smudger, who's in our main event, and so you know full well here, Ginge, that if he's training with the former champion Smudger, who's in our main event, you know he's going to be a killer fighter.
Obviously, Smudger is 6-1 this season, I do believe, coming off a loss to current champion Leon Stoll's. Amazing striker all round. So, Eagle MMA, that makes me believe he is a grappler. If he's able to implement that grappler with a strike, and I see no issue into why he can't beat Styles here tonight, Looney.
Yeah, we will have to see, brother. We will have to see. Like I said, I hear a lot of good things from the NW camp. Eagle MMA, obviously one of their fast-rising stars, up against one of the most vettiest veterans that you will ever see, and that is BFAP Styles.
Well, it gets even madder when you realise Styles is picking the ever-mighty GSP. But Eagle is picking Ben Askren.
Oh, does he not? You know, if he comes up here and does this with Ben Askren, I tell you what, I'll step away
from the Styles. He has made a name for himself through and through. This is the time to make sure you are want to be impressive, but let's find out if that will be the case.
showing that you have some massive kahunas on you, sir.
Honestly, we shall see, right? Like I said, I will probably just step away for the evening if this happens. If he manages to beat him with Ben Askren, especially in some sort of... Well, honestly,
You will hear me smash my door.
In any way, I am amazed that he has gone this. He maybe knows something that we do not. There's obviously confidence oozing from this guy. His opponent, Naz, pulled out. Didn't want to fight Styles. That's what it came down to, right, Doc? They just didn't want to fight Styles. So that's not the fight he wanted. So he got his bag and did not want that one. And this guy stepped up and seems to be all sorts of confidence. Well, confident. We'll have to see if that goes in his favor. Styles is as veteran savvy as they come, bro.
Yeah, I mean, Styles has already started to do a slip hook and a clinch attempt. Now shoots a takedown, gets him on his ass, but Ben Askren gets a deny. Styles is very patient. He's going to look in it, switch kick to the body there. Lead hook comes up top, and a leg kick also landed. Ben Askren engaging, does shoot a takedown himself, but GSP shoots a takedown, gets denied again. This is some impressive takedown defense if you're Ben Askren, but that was a lovely takedown shot, followed by a power takedown. Now we end up in side control here, Looney.
And this is the beginning, potentially, of the end with 3 minutes 40 to work. As you said, emotional abuse will ensue. Styles is about as savvy as they come on the mat, honestly. He's one of those guys that once he hits, once he's got you there, honestly, you don't... I think there's maybe a handful of times I've ever seen somebody get back up in a round that he's gotten his opponents down. He does seem to have that different next level sort of top control, and I believe this being on PlayStation, although I've never played across there, I know that you two gentlemen definitely have. It's a lot harder for it's a lot harder, right?
I don't understand how the grappling can be so different.
So different.
But speaking of grappling, Ben Askren gets the reversal. Styles is now on bottom. He's playing slow and steady. 2 minutes 20 left to work on the pot. Ground and pound damage there, does get straight back down there. This is a scary position if you're Styles, but again, he's probably been in this in countless times. He's fights with the best of the best, and he's probably well versed in this position here, Looney.
Well, I don't know who actually set up this match, but there's another added thing. These guys have only got scheduled 15 minutes to work, and they have got 25 minutes on the clock. I know that Styles is a former champion. That man is never really not fought in a main card sport, and obviously his opponent took that a little bit too seriously there, Ginger. Put this fight round here this evening, thought he was fighting for the belt, decided he was going to do so with Ben Askren, but I don't know what's going on, brother. They've got another 11 minutes, 12 seconds to get that done.
It's a BMF title fight.
Oh, jeez. Oh, well, either way, a half guard roll into the back sitting posture.
No.
If I'm Styles, I'm probably going to look for a top mount if I can. Staying fairly patient, though, because Ben Askren seems well versed in the grappling and seems like a credible grappling threat, especially with the reversal we got earlier on in this round here.
We've got a guy in the chat, famous man, right? He must be one of the training partners, obviously, of Eagle, and I think he's saying that he shouldn't have taken him down. This was a mistake from Styles, but I think that these guys are obviously both very, very experienced grapplers in both ends of the regards, but just not knowing what level of threat that each other picked.
We accidentally booked one of the best grappling matches by mistake without... I feel like this is entirely possible, and Naz may have saved us from a striker versus grappler fight into a grappling masterclass here. I'm kind of interested to see how this goes.
Can I just say, Askren has given a better challenge to Styles in the first round than most contenders to his title way back when he was controlling the scene years ago, like a year ago. This is a remarkable performance.
It genuinely is, and like I said, I will genuinely step up and walk away from this desk here this evening if this man is able to outwork him. I'm going to stay here till the very end because this will be an impressive feat, but he seems game a lot of 1-2 straight on the barrel from Styles. Seems to land.
I kind of want to see this go all 25 minutes now. Is that bad?
I will die for them.
Oh, that's because you're a striker and not a grappler. I am a grappler
Yes.
at heart, and this interests me immensely. Both of them engaging in that clinch battle as well, trying to set up the striking as well. Askren's fairly composed, though. That jab is level 1, but it's still effective if you know how to use it, and he's using it brilliantly. That rear side kick coming out again. Lee Took follows suit. A leg kick there as well. Seems like Styles has been training with Dirty Dave of all people. He knows how to use GSP, probably just touching up a bit here, Looney.
Yeah, but honestly, man, I'm more just kind of mesmerised about what I'm seeing in front of me. We are currently 2 minutes into the second round, and these guys now playing out largely on the feet. And that's what you want to see out of somebody like Styles, especially knowing that he's probably heard us in the back, right? That the 25 minutes is only meant to be 15, which is a little bit unusual. And this is a little bit more conducive to, getting the finish.
Oh, my lordy loud.
Doc, just to throw it back to you, you've got to remember for a little while, he was TD, right? He was training with Suave Jamie, and he came out with his hands for a little while. So this is something that he has in his back pocket. And he's actually turning his opponent into the wrestler here. I thought he was going to slam Ben on his head again, but no, they were able to stay standing.
This is a genuinely interesting fight. I'm really interested to see Eagle compete later down the line, even after this fight. This is kind of put him on the map for me. I'm actually really intrigued now.
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, this is a one way to get your name known. Go up against one of the vettiest vets in the game and do it with Ben Askren.
Vettiest isn't a word.
I will make up words if I want to.
I mean, I still haven't worked out what P's and Q's mean, to be completely frank.
It's just letters of the alphabet, brother. So that's all it is. But yeah, nevertheless, we digress. It's the whole mind your P's and Q's. It's an actual saying, but this is what this is what I got.
Wait, it's just letters in the alphabet? Wait, what?
And we've really confused Jin. Going back to the fight, though, the lead hook, the jab, the straights of GSP are landing cleanly. Ben Askren's leg is also a bit scary, but he pulls guard, then gets a clip there, a switch kick to the body there, and it seems like Askren is definitely the one wanting to be shooting the takedown here. GSP seems to be kind of happy. He's realised the grappling may just fizzle out and just end up with both of them not really getting anywhere, and so instead Styles kept this on the feet and working it up on the feet here tonight, Looney.
Yeah, honestly, it's like I said, it's more conducive to a finish, and that's what he needs. He's got 5 minutes. Both gentlemen, they've got 5 minutes to get this job done. Otherwise, I mean, obviously we're playing it out, right? But otherwise, there's certain penalties that have to come with that, right? It's 15 minutes scheduled. They have that to do. And they are going to have to get really, really active in this third and final round to get that job done. You see Styles absolutely pushing the pace, trying to get the takedown, and against somebody that's quite clearly shown that he has the skills on the mat here. I'm surprised that this is his route to what he wants, what he wants for this fight. I'm surprised he wants to take it back down here. He knows he's only got this 4 minutes to work, but maybe he feels the GMP's there.
Maybe indeed. You got top man, you got backside. Instead, though, goes for the back sitting attempt, but instead ends up rolling straight into back sitting. Could just see these two going in loop if you're not careful. So, we're going back and repeat the idea, but instead, he's just going to punch him in the head very slowly, working down, trying to build that GA. Probably going to look for a top mount, I'd imagine, and he does so, but gets denied.
Ooh. Surprised. I am. Surprised I am, Osman.
Working nicely, obviously, in the top control position. A lot of little shots, pepper shots, trying to build up that GA from both gentlemen. Like I said, these guys are quite clearly very, very well versed on the mat, and I actually think it semi-neutralizes each other, but he does utilize that very, very effectively, Doc, to get into a top control position. Now he's only got another 2 minute 55 to work. I say only, quite a lot of time to work, especially if you're Ben Askren.
Yeah, Ben Askren's got that working, but Styles has mainly kept him in that full guard, and you see the ground and pound position here, but again, only does so much damage, and he's not having the greatest success overall. Both of them, just as you mentioned earlier, just fizzling each other out, and we see a reversal here by GSP having a flippy, roly-poly time, and tries to go for the side control, doesn't get it, builds a J up, probably gonna look for a reversal if he can, but instead Styles wise to it and gets a deny there.
Oh, nice deny.
2 minutes, Ginger, right? I mean, from this position, you've got to think, obviously, other than the separation, he needs to advance position. He needs to start landing a lot of big ground and pound, try and get something going against his opponent, because right now they are seemingly neutralizing each other in these positions.
Uh-oh. That's a reversal.
This
and a
is an
half.
amazing grappling
That
fight.
was a reversal and a half. Styles knows it. But now we get the top man ground and pound looking to defend it. Does do a decent job there. Blocks it a couple of times, but it does get hit. Ben Askren's gassing himself out aggressively there, but we're now back into half guard. Styles out of danger, but the overall damage there definitely landed.
Yeah, this is madness, bro. I'm just so surprised, right? I mean, it's a bit of a shame that this is 25 minutes, so that it comes with penalties, right? But it is also on the same side, probably one of the toughest grappling matchups that Styles has had, and it's happened on PlayStation. It's a console that isn't exactly known for a massive plethora of grapplers.
Weak front kick at the end, just for added benefit there. Styles evidently maybe a bit frustrated on the ground. That's an odd. This is a weird match, I've got to admit. I was not expecting this to be 25 minutes. I was not expecting this type of grappling exchanges to be happening.
Who's winning? I don't know.
This is the thing, though, and this is an interesting thing to note now. Technically, whoever won those 3 rounds has won the fight, and that is something that we will have to check the scorecards on afterwards. This is all just a little bit of gravy on top, right? Because they can't. The result after 25 minutes can't stand, can it? That's not how we do the things.
As it's a stage match, no, I'm joking.
It's usually because it's Styles. I know he's a veteran, brother, but no, it doesn't quite work like that. Nice entrance. I mean, look, if Ben Askren is able to get, like I said, if Eagle is able to get, right, a W here, just even in terms of in front of our eyes, potentially over these 25 minutes, then that is enough of a win in his column. Whichever way this goes, he is putting on
he's already
all
got the
sorts
win
of...
in his column, though. Like, look at his impressive style. He's like grappling with Styles and doing it in such a competitively high level. They're reversing each other. He's neutralizing Styles' damage in a lot of cases and doing his own damage instead. Though Styles gets back up and switch kick to the body there, lead hook. So the only issue is I wish I could see Styles' overall health here, but sadly the HUD's also turned off, which is fun.
Fun. What's it? I would say the striking is definitely going towards Styles here. Evidence in the head health, but it's not like that matters too much because this fight has been like 4 rounds of just pure grappling, except for maybe the second. So it really just is a let's give it to the judges, please, and do not mess it up type of fight.
Well, I mean, right now, I don't think, honestly, as mad as this is, I don't think this one's going to the judges. I think that now is really when he starts to unload, maybe around too late, but he's going.
Oh my god! EA gods are on. Styles slides there, ducks the head kick, and what?
Oh!
He lost, guys.
Oh my god.
Askren got too aggressive on the body shots, a block counter there, and the uppercut killed him through and through. That is what happened there.
Well, these guys, I'm sure the Wranglers will be on them in the back, and they're going to get the full breakdown if they do not show us after the fight. But a knockout, Ben Askren does go out, but he's, as mad as that is, he could have still potentially won this fight somehow. We'll have to see which way the judges scored it, right, or which way they've gone for until that point. But I think that what will let happen is that we'll let the guys in the back sort that out, and as he instantly goes to it,
Styles once.
Styles won.
It was all Styles. It was Styles, yeah. 29-28. Great shit. Absolutely fantastic performance. I have to say, Eagle MMA, take a bow, brother. What a performance up against.
It's not even take a bow. Genuinely take a massive bow, because you've just. Huh?
Not any boy.
A massive one. Yeah, a massive one. No, but genuinely, what he did was impressive. Like, that's added so much weight to him in the PlayStation division that I'm genuinely impressed. And that's a rarity sometimes on these cards, to be honest. There's always massive fights, but that's a significant fight, and I'm interested to see how he develops throughout this entire point now.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was a bit of a tough fight for him at this point. Like, we all know who Styles is because we've known him for years. He was champion in Primetime. He has history within this promotion. So it's not biased or anything that we just know that guy's skill level. So when you see a man step in on short notice just because Styles has not been competing in a long time, I honestly thought that could have almost turned into something that was one-way traffic. That's why he was also against somebody like Naz, who we knew was a decent level component, right? Who was also hadn't competed for quite some time. But since he didn't turn up, Eagle stepped up, and he's so far standout performance of the evening. That was a phenomenal performance, even though he didn't get the W. Like I said, it actually speaks volumes to what he was able to do. It does, though, Ginge, take us on to the next one. It's going to be between two absolute savages in this
Only
cage.
the first fight of the main card.
I know, that's what I'm saying, bro. B3 Zach, TMF Toasty Toes. Lead us into this one, guys.
Toasty.
Zach
Toasty.
is part of the B3 camp. He is a striker through and through. He's part of the B3, so he knows how to pressure. He knows how to put the pace on and make your life a living hell. Toasty, on the other hand, Ginge, is, I think you're correct. He's a grappler through and through. If he can't take to the ground, maybe he's going to have a couple of issues. He kind of reminds me, in part of me, to be honest. Toasty is an amazing grappler, or at least on top. Does struggle a bit on the bottom, but when you're the guy shooting takedowns over and over again, you're not wanting to be the grappler in that case here, Ginge.
Yeah, Toasty really does shit for his life. Hopefully he will refrain against someone like Zach, because if you do, Zach will just defend and beat the ever-living shit out of you. But, like you said, Toasty's got a really nice top game. Zach, I'm not sure what his grappling is like, but I'm sure it'll be fun, won't it?
Yes, sir. I mean, I wouldn't expect anything less from these two competitors. Stepping in to this cage once more, they have, like I said, a very diverse set of skills. Toasty Toes, one of the few TMF guys that you will see actively shoot for a double leg, and obviously this is a great pick. There's a great pick for him. So, yeah, and I think this is a good pick for him, because obviously the power of his opponent is absolutely sensational. He's got a great jiu-jitsu as well, but that mixing up of the grappling, I mean, an ankle pick from that close, you don't see it too often, right? But like I said, that's the mixing it together of Toasty Toes and this sorts of unorthodox strikes and like that he brings to the table. He's just getting pressured really heavily here, Doc, and that could be a bit problematic, especially when somebody hits as hard as Figueiredo does.
Yeah, Figueiredo's got the power and he's got the takedown defense as well as the bottom game, and he's a fantastic counter picking it. But I'm pretty sure Askarov has gone Osagari trip. Say that 3 times fast, Jesus. But so he's got that take.
Go on.
Looney.
You right there?
I lost my train of thought.
He shot the double leg very, very nicely, not able to hold into the side control position, though, of course. Toasty Toes now going to try and rain a little bit of ground and pound to throw it back to you, Ginger. Obviously, the rubber guard's available from his opponent here, but Toasty's very, very aware of that. He's going to be trying to pre-deny it. I do feel like he needs to advance this position, though, to really make this...
You lied, Lenny.
He was
He
aware.
didn't pre-deny it.
Well, now we end up in stat guard, couple of shots rained down, having a bit of problems on that defense. That head held getting knocked down, does end up gassing himself out, and now gets into half guard on bottom. This is a tricky place to be. You've got the full guard to go to, but instead does posture up and now looking to land the ground and pound in retaliation. He's really working that head up, especially with the power of Figgy. That's gonna do substantial damage here.
Beautiful work. Question mark kick comes out easily blocked, though not really set up. He needs to be a little bit more creative with the setups, of course. Right now, it does seem like Figueiredo seems to be finding the mark on the feet. Absolutely going into the matrix, forcing that shot out of his opponent, but all over it. Now he's going to try and pull that pressure on to Askarov, but Toasty just making sure to get some shots off. Those question mark kicks, man, I mean, I'm not liking them right now. I feel like he's starting to get a little bit flustered out here, Ginger, and your teammate's getting pressured pretty heavily at the moment right now. Figueiredo doing a really good job of bringing this action towards the latter end of this first round.
I can tell he's getting pressured, thanks, Lenny. Yeah, obviously Toasty gets very panicky very quick, and it looks like oh no. It looks like Zach is definitely taking the benefit of that. You're gonna see Toasty shooting next few punches because he is panicking.
Oh, well, he doesn't need to panic anymore.
He shot to the floor. He shot to the floor. He is dead.
No nerves when your lights are turned out. All fairness, that was one fucking crazy overhand, man. Timed it beautifully, got him to slip off. And ultimately, that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Leaned into it.
Yeah, I was going to lean into it, but it must have just been an off timing, right?
Yeah, that jab followed by the overhand made the block overcommit. Used a lot of those straight shots to really get funky, toasty to move his head off the line, and that's kind of was his downfall there overall. There, Ginge.
Yeah, it really was. That was amazing there, blob. That was a pretty nice display of blobbering there from Zach, and it was just a good display all right there, Lenny, wasn't it?
Yes, sir. Obviously doing what B3 does best, bullying his opponent with his striking, able to get those hands to land more often than not, and ultimately that's what gets his hand raised. Of course, we go from one B3 Savage to another. B3 Blackout, no longer part of war. Somebody is being shot out in the back right now. But nevertheless, this man stepping up, he is up against Fluke. Is that the real name, Fluke?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that name. I like that name a lot.
We're on the PlayStation side. We are in the middleweight division, the home of the 4 stars, as I like to call it. And it looks like both of these guys are going to go 4 stars. We're going to have a Nick Diaz versus Robbie Lawler matchup tonight.
Well, no time to be wasted. These guys standing opposite each other, although they are allowed 5-star fighters. Appears they're going 4-star picks, and this is by choice, Ginger. Got to take, tip the cap to these sort of fighters. A bit of a dying breed, right? Able to go out here on a competitive scene, make it an unofficial agreement. Obviously, maybe a little bit of respect between each guy, and I think it's going to make for a really entertaining bout with Nick and Lawler in their primes, my man, ready to throw those hands once again.
Yeah, obviously this fight happened a month ago, but it was just 2 old men with big fat beer bellies beating the shit out of each other. So hopefully it's like the same here, because I find that fight quite entertaining, dog.
Yeah, these 2 are entertaining fighters. Rawls definitely has the stats overall, in my opinion. He's got the power, he's got the leg kicks, which are oddly, I think, that his lead leg kick is somewhat broke because it comes out extremely quickly, and so it's kind of fucky to defend, but that's that. We've seen Diaz earlier. We saw him with Lepo at the very beginning, and you saw the power of his boxing, so these 2 should put on a boxing masterclass, you would hope.
Yeah, starting out very, very quickly. It seems that they may be having a little bit of buffering, but we're straight back at it, and they're still rocking, stocking, roboting in the center of that cage, Ginger, trying to land as many shots as they can to the head. It looks like Lawler was trying to go to the body, but got to be careful of those uppercuts from Blackout. We saw how crispy clean he can be with those. He times them perfectly. And there it is, another uppercut straight on the button.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, my God.
Jesus.
Oh my god.
3, stand up.
57 seconds. That's definitely up there in terms of top 5 quickest KOs.
He bullied. He bullied all right.
Blackout came out last time and did the exact same to some poor sod.
Yeah, like I said, man, this guy, he's cut from a different now. The Blackout hours didn't take hours to get the job done, only 57 seconds. Straight into the lead hook. Landed straight into the lead upper. This man was mixing combinations left and right. B3 on top, it says in the chat, and my God, with performances like that, it's hard to deny that these guys are on the up, and it's quite clear to see why they're so kind of favoured by the fans of the community. It's because they bring the goddamn action, Ginge. And once again, it propelled us into the next fight to the main card at a moment's notice. We're going to be seeing another 2 savages step in. They have a much more diverse skill set. I'd be surprised if they bring that sort of action in 57 seconds. But LW, Kickboxing King, up against KM Intro. I know that you're familiar with these 2 competitors. So what can you tell us about these 2 guys?
So KB King, known for his slip hooks, knows when to slip, knows how to slip. Very, very good at his technical pressure. On the other hand, though, we have introspectively. Is that introspectively?
Yes, yeah. Yes, it is.
I can't really see. KM Intro has really nice slick striking, has an amazing knowledge of the game, knows what to throw, when to throw it, and is one of the smartest people I've seen on this game. I'm really excited to see what we can see from him here, Doc.
Well, KM intro trains with the KM boys. You got Caliber in the fight up next in the co-main. You know the story when it comes to KM guys. They're all well adapted. They're all well-versed strikers. The grappling even is they've got fantastic anti-grappling. But I doubt we're going to see that in a matchup against someone like KB King, who's going to want to look to keep it on the feet, look to showcase his own striking, and really mix about with it and use the kickboxing to the best of his ability here tonight.
Yes, sir. This honestly has all the makings of absolute fireworks. Do not blink in this battle. There's going to be a technical approach brought. You know that they can only take one little slip when you have such high-level competitors to really, really get that damage done. Not a lot of time wasted, though. It looks like Intro's happy to march forward, try to go for that power tie sort of style, Ginger, and get some respect out of TJ early, try to get him backing up and second-guessing himself.
Yeah. It's still so early to call this fight, because this fight will be so close. You give this fight about 3 minutes and it'll be the most close fight you'll ever see. I'm surprised I haven't seen too many slip hooks out of KB King, though. He's normally known for them, and that block is right? Very low.
It's got to be the hooks. I mean, right now we're seeing Aldo mixing in a number of hooks behind his jabs here, Doc, and I think that's ultimately what's giving him some issues slicking off that center line, going for his straight slip hooks. But there's a couple of good shots from KB King. Once again, just has to be very, very careful and mind his P's and Q's, brother. Make sure he doesn't step off into the wrong angle, because Intro is landing perfectly, precisely, each and every time.
Yeah, he's calm, he's composed, he's happy just to find it. The most damaging shot so far KB King has landed is that running forward lead body kick, which sometimes isn't the best kick to throw just because of how open it leaves you. Switch hit to the body there by Intro. The jabs followed by the shots there. It does slip off the side to an uppercut, but it gets digged down to the body there as well. And both of these guys not really slowing in pace, very experienced with each other, it seems, just looking to brawl, but do it in a very technical manner all at the same time here, Ginge.
He is doing very, very well. Leg health is going down in the way of KB King. Stamina's even, body is relatively even, same with head. Only thing we're seeing being quite different in health here. There we go. There's a very nice slip hook that I mentioned before. Head health starting to dwindle now in the terms of rest and the introspectively, Luna.
Yeah, honestly, right now, it's beautiful artistry to watch when these guys are so high level, working their game, very, very educated in their approach, so to speak. And as you see, just the combinations that he lands, he does so at a way that he just minimizes the damage coming back his way, but always seems to maximize what he's able to land on his opponent. It's just very, very silky approach, managing his distance, managing the combinations. That's why I believe we're seeing Intro start to run away with this one a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah, it really is starting to be just a showcase from Intro. Is showing really nice, different variety of combos, unpredictable like that. That is what separates you from. That's what separates him and his opponent here, Doc.
Yes, but with the flashy combos, with all the flashy stuff, you've got to be wary that you can get countered off it, and throwing stuff like that too often can lead to big counters. So far, though, Intro staying fairly composed in how he's throwing it. He's mixing it between all the other stuff, which is just landing cleanly here, and both of them are just engaging in a fantastic fight. Closing out that first round, looked like Intro's the guy leading, putting the pace on, whilst KB King is like trying to find his rhythm. He's found the body kick, but apart from that, he hasn't really found much in terms of boxing combinations to land consistently here, Looney.
Yeah, potentially looking for some of the slip-offs in the centre line. I think he's getting too over involved in his head movement. Needs to start trusting in that block a little bit. Start working behind his own offense, because the best defense is offense. Not going to get the opportunity if Intro has anything to do about it. That body is meat and has got Ginger losing his freaking mind in the back. But nevertheless, Intro doing his damn thing here, Ginge, working his magic. And seems to
Guess knocked down, and this is a sudden change of pace. Also, gets the up kick now, getting ground and pound. He could be getting the finish here. He gets the reversal, massive change of pace. All of a sudden, probably going to go for a top mount ground and pound position. He does so now, working that head massively. Lovely job that landed a straight, looking to get a finish. That's a very quick change of pace from
Giving me headache.
suddenly
I don't
losing
like
the fight
this.
to coming back. Disengages.
That was a really nice slip straight head kick there. That was just out of nowhere, and that really changed the tide of this match. Not completely, but it definitely brought him back to a point, Looney.
Yeah, honestly, it was a big moment for him. An absolute, blistering head kick that almost decapitated his opponent. But now we're just going to see a bit more of a reserved approach. It does, like you say, though, definitely shift a little bit of momentum back in his favor, and he gets some well-needed respect out of his opponent. It sets up the head movement, and he maybe gets the finish right here.
Straight, and that is possibly he read the straight. He sidestepped it and countered, and that put him on his arse. And now you see the grappling. Now you see TJ on top, looking to get back into half guard, possibly into top mount as well, do the major damage here. But so far, staying composed, just being patient, does try to, but instead gets reversed there by Intro.
Yeah, we are seeing some very fast switch-ups in this matchup from just KB King being relatively beaten convincingly to just absolutely switching up that deadly slips he's got. He really is someone who can just pull the fight back in a blink of an eye, Lily.
Yeah, for certain, man. He is. And I think that can be said much the same about a lot of these top-level competitors. The further you get up the card, the more that these guys have been there, done that, been in all sorts of situations and seen all sorts of outcomes. But there's the flurry. Here's me thinking the KB King looking good with his lunging strikes, but then all of a sudden, Intro absolutely lighting up those combinations there, Doc. And he's got KB King on the back foot now. A little bit flustered, a little bit worried about what's coming next.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see this, because the fact of the matter is both of them have got very similar head health. The main differences you see is Intro's worked that body in round one, and that's kind of what Intro needs to go back to, because the head health is the same, but if we can work down that body health as well, make KB King worried about the body health, he can then start opening up the head again and then looking to really get the finish. It's the issue of, though, if the head's suffered, you've got to be very careful of it, and that's kind of what's given the issue here, because he's unsure how to engage, because one counter could be it for him here.
Definitely can be, man. I mean, I think the same can be said about both ends, but there you go. Once again, Intro working that body beautifully, landing the lunging straight. The up kick of Doom keeps him in it for a little bit longer. KB King does not give a shit though, Ginger. Works the combinations of his own. We said the best defense is offense, and that man is living by that strategy right here, right now, pouring it on.
This is a very tense action. You just know for a fact Intro's one shot away, but so is KB King. The head movement, slip hooks, just everything trying to find one place. Intro's just needs one pullback, but he gets stunned there, and this is looking like it's going to be KB King's fight here.
Yeah, certainly, brother, certainly. I mean, right now, starting to get the full finish of shots. One shot was all he... My God! Doctor, what are we witnessing here this evening? There has been some absolutely phenomenal performances, but for me in particular, that right there, LWKB King, to have Intro come out, right, almost be looking like he's batting 100. He was almost going for the old kind of the old fatality out here, the perfection. He was not even having shots landed on him, landed spin kicks to the body, combinations with his boxing, had KB King in all sorts of problems. For KB King to get that head kick, to use that momentum to propel him into the rest of the fight and ultimately get his hand raised, I mean, take the biggest of bows, brother. Take the biggest of bows, dog.
It was very much like Intro started off with a lot of momentum, and then as soon as KB King got that head health even slightly down, he lost it, and he just couldn't regain it because he was so scared about the head health that he just kind of failed him massively, and that caused the issue through that entire fight there, causing the finish, I feel like.
Yes, sir. And Doc, I think that we are, obviously, we're a little bit behind schedule tonight, so we're not going to waste any more time, brother. We are going to get into the co-main and the main event of this evening. Two absolute savages stepping up. BFAP Slick in this co-main spot. A veteran through and through. We've seen him around the scene fighting our own Donald Cerrone in KM Caliber. This man has fought the who's who, often on short notice. He had a full camp ahead of him going into this one, Doc, and feels like he may have all of the answers required to get one over on Slickbot.
I think it's probably one of his only fights that actually has had probably a full camp. Which is kind of insane to realise when you're talking about Caliber, a man who's ranked 15 within the Xbox division. He's taken every fight he can do. And now this time he's in the welterweight division. But by looking at the scorecards, it's 2-3 in the favour of Caliber. But Slick Colt is not an opponent you dismiss by any matter. The guy's got grappling. The guy's also got striking. He's got Spider now a part of BFAP camp, so you know he's training with the best of the best in terms of strikers. You got Trixie as well, and this is bound to be one hell of a fight tonight.
Yeah, honestly, man. I mean, Spider, like you say, just much like the likes of Cold Blooded and the such, just phenomenal technical striking, and it brings a different element to your overall repertoire and the tools at your disposal. But of course, Slick has been training with the best for a long time, right? He's been training with Trixie, one of the longest reigning champions in Primetime history's Xbox division, and that's one of the great tools that he has at his disposal to continue to sharpen his iron against iron. But the same can be said about Caliber. He just needs to bring it to the table here, and it's about who's able to perform under these bright lights. And so far, Gilbert Burns seems to be the one turning it up, Doc, really trying to bring the action to Slick and see if he can get an early finish out here in front of the fans.
Yeah, well, so far it looked like Slick was going around tent, but Caliber backed off. He's got himself recomposed and has really slowed down massively here, and is now really starting to expose the lack of defense in some avenues of Slick Colt here.
Work chopping at that leg, trying to work it. Ken Caliber doing a good job, throws out a naked question mark kick. The attacks to the body are varied, and from both sides of this octagon, from teeps to body uppercuts, everything is on display. The pressure does seem to be largely out of the side of Gilbert Burns, though, and that seems to already be playing a little bit of a factor on his cardio. I imagine that a takedown may be imminent here, Doc, because otherwise this cardio may continue to kind of wane under the pressure and the output that he is trying to have.
Yeah, but looks of it, neither of them really want to take a step back in terms of the pressure. Both of them happy just to stand in the middle of the octagon, and a sidekick there trying to take control, does sidestep the jab, clips him with the hook, but again doesn't do too much damage. Teep follows suit there, and both of these guys are just going at it like absolute workhorses here.
Yeah, wouldn't expect anything less. Like I said, these guys live in a certain sort of chaos, and that's exactly what they're bringing to the table, trying to see who can outdo their opponent, not only in terms of technical ability, in terms of the IQ they bring to the table, but in terms of the commitment to overcoming adversity, trying to take their opponents into the deepest waters they can. The first clinch attempt, I believe we've seen from Slick Colt, isn't able to hold that position for very long, but as you see here, Doc, absolutely peppering each other with jabs, straights, lead hooks, and the like, making sure to be as highly varianced as they can to make sure that their opponents never know what's coming next.
They never knows what's coming next, and lovely engagement. Both of them are just finding holes in their game. Slick does have the issue of his cardio is going down a bit quicker. However, you got to remember the power of Gilbert Burns hits like a truck, and that head help is already blinking there, and if you're not careful, Caliber's going to get at least stunned, possibly knocked down.
Man, honestly, this is one of those fights that I'm so dialed in for, it's almost hard to commentate because you know the action almost does all the talking for you. The way that these guys are able to unfold their techniques here this evening, you see the pressure from Slick Colt. Now he gets rocked as a result of that. Very, very comfortable just to step off. I don't know how stumbled he must have been because he was walking around that cage even after the counter stopped ticking down, Doc. But a very closely contested round really kind of put that extra cherry on top, though, with that late rock from KM Caliber.
Yeah, late stun, probably stolen the round, especially with how that round was going. It was very close indeed. And he's stolen the edge of the judges. Now though, and probably gave him a bit of confidence, in fact, just because you get stunned at the end of the round, you can have a bit of confidence. But now both of these guys back at it. Body kick there lands. Clinch attempt here. Caliber now in a dirty position, but he gets that, gets a knee as well, digs down to the pot there, does go for the uppercut, doesn't land a counter. But I mean, both of these guys are just so well versed in each and every aspect of the game.
Oh my god, as you're saying all that, I was thinking to myself, Burns is having too much damage land on that dome piece. Absolute smidgen of health keeps him in it, and Slick Colt is going to do all that he can, pull all the tricks out to try and get his opponent's respect, stop this pressure. But Caliber smells blood until he gets sacked down himself, Doc.
Oh.
What the fucking hell are we seeing?
That was a comeback and a half, and he gets the finish. Tonight has been like, you get punched in the face, you get knocked down, you lose a round, you come back and you win the round. And that seems to be the case. That's 3 or 5 times that has happened, and fantastic job by Slick, taking all that damage and coming back, maintaining his defense and putting on the offense there to get the finish.
Oh my god, Slick Colt, the one and only BFAP original coming through. One of the IFL originals, Primetime originals, getting the job done over a dangerous top-level opponent. My god, what a cool main event, and it sets us up beautifully there, Doc. Leading into this main event, we've got Smudger up against Gemini. Once again, these guys need little introduction, but what can you tell us about these two savages?
Smudger, a man who's angry and wants another PS title shot. He lost the Leon fight at PT60, sadly got knocked down and then got finished after that. Gemini, on the other hand, he's undefeated, 3-0. These two have 5 rounds. Lightweight division, it's going to be McGregor versus Volkanovski pick. These two have got one hell of a fight to live up to, jump by the rest of the card tonight.
Wouldn't expect anything less from a Primetime MMA event. The Primetime guarantee, as coined by our friend, obviously across the pond in the Bane himself, it honestly couldn't be more perfect, to represent the type of action that is brought to the table. This has all been building to these points. These guys have been sitting in the back, working their hands on the mitts, watching the fights on the screen, making sure to keep an eye on how their teammates are, doing, on how some of their competitors have been doing. So they felt the action, they felt the energy out here to this evening, Doc. And, interesting to note, when you've got some of your teammates winning out the back, that can propel you confidence-wise. The B3 boys being, the absolute killer. Sorry, I said B3, but as a whole, they're right. And I just expect big things from these guys. We know that the heavy hands of Smudger, the power that he brings to this, octagon with his striking, especially with the likes of Conor McGregor, is going to be phenomenal. But we know how durable Volkanovski is, and how kind of gritty and doggy he can make those fights.
Yeah. Volkanovski has mental recovery, mental cardio. Conor McGregor, on the other hand, can hit like a truck and a half, and so it's going to be the battle between durability and power, I feel like, for this entire fight. Can't disregard Volkanovski's power, but it's kind of nothing when you compare it to McGregor's here.
Yeah, also, he's got the leg kicks, right? He's got that 5-star lead leg kick, and he's already utilised it twice in the beginning of this fight, making sure Conor McGregor knows that it's present, maybe trying to stop Smudge's ability to pressure forward, making him drop that block low and unleash with some flurries. And talking about flurries, we're seeing that from both sides of the octagon here this evening, especially from the side of McGregor, though, as he connects with another couple of shots to the dome piece of his opponent.
Well, it already seems like Smudge is using that footwork. He's playing the footsies game, going in and out, just slowly peppering his opponent's body in health, making his opponent react whilst he's not even in the pocket, and so he's whipping a lot of his strikes here so far as well, especially that lead hook and a couple of times you see on that jab. But the leg kick is landing cleanly, it seems.
So we shall see switching stance once or twice, going back to the absolutely beautiful boxing. My god, those lead body uppercuts, the rear shots, the straights into the lead hooks, all coming together. This boxing, honestly beautiful to behold. Beautiful destruction is unfolding in front of us here this evening. Once again, the action continues to heat up. 2 minutes 45 left on the clock as another pull counter lands for Smudger there, Doc.
Yeah, it lands very nicely, Ginger. You got to imagine that if I'm Smudger here, I'm going to keep to this pace, keep playing the footy game, making Volkanovski kind of just look for every shot he can, but just falling just out of reach of it here.
Yeah, Doc, we've known for a while that Smudger is one of, if not the best striker on PlayStation right now. And Lenny, you have to admit, it's kind of showing how better he is than Gemini here, just in this elite striking display.
He's doing really well. I have to say, I'm liking kind of semi what Gemini is doing. He's staying the course. He has a plan here this evening, right? He feels like he may be able to overwhelm him for all, but the body work is really what, like you say, there is levels, and the levels for me are being shown in the body work. The pole counters, the former champion, he is, as Doctor said, angry. He is looking to regain that gold. Primetime gold, fabled, and definitely on the cards for him if he's able to get through his opponents here this evening, especially with a big win. He's trying to do this, Doc, not only to get a victory, but to get a victory with some style points and make sure that everybody has this guy on the edge of their tongues when they're considering who's going to be up next for that belt. He's trying to take all sorts of doubt out of the equation.
Yeah, and he's doing a fantastic job here, just slowly picking apart his opponent, making it known. But Gemini comes back. Overhand lands there, now looking for the ground and pound position. Gets it, he lands a couple times. Looking like he's going to get a finish, and he does so!
Oh my.
Well then. Well, that was exactly like the rest of this card has been. You're winning the round and then suddenly you're not. Caliber's had the same issue. Intro's had the same issue. We saw it in the beginning fight of this evening with Lepo versus Warbsy, and that has carried on to the main event. Smudger made one wrong move, one wrong bit of head movement, that overhand landed, and Gemini jumped on him, got the ground and pound finish, and that puts him to 4-0.
Oh, brother. When you zig when you should zag, and sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles. That's why we love this sport. The emotions on display, the absolute dire consequences for a wrong decision. It is absolutely brutal. My heart goes out to Smudger. What a performance he was having in that first round. But Gemini getting the job done in what has been an absolutely sensational and historic card here this evening. This has been Primetime Fight Night 48. It has been a pleasure calling the fights alongside Doctor Who and, of course, TMF's very own Ginger. Make sure to stick about for the raid at the end. We are going to be pushing some love forward into the community. It could make somebody's night, so make sure to join in that. Show some love when you get in there. And other than that, guys, we will be back with you now at 8:30 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, or British Standard Time. I think it is what it is right now. And then, of course, that is 3:30 Eastern. Tomorrow, Saturday, main pay-per-view on the line, title fights galore. Same as this one, card is stacked. So make sure to tune into it, and we will be back with the next.